Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, or as I like to call it, Dinosaurs and Dumb Decisions, the sequel nobody asked for. Buckle up, folks. We're diving into 2 hours of chaos, volcanoes, animal rights debates, clone plot twists, and more bad choices than a drunk raccoon at a buffet. Let's go. We open at night because nothing ever goes wrong at night in a Jurassic movie, right? A bunch of guys in raincoats are sneaking onto Isla Nublar like it's a dino-themed episode of Mission Impossible Wet Edition. They're trying to salvage Dino DNA from the wreckage. Translation: they're poking ancient monsters while standing ankle-deep in mud and hubris. A guy in a submarine pokes the Mosasaurus skeleton. Up top, some poor dude's dangling from a chopper, and right before he's pulled up, boom, T-Rex comes in like, "Miss me?" and gives him a quick exit plan via screaming. But surprise, Mosasaurus escapes into the ocean because someone left the back door open. Good job, tech guy. Cut to news footage. Isla Nublar's about to blow up, like full Pompeii, just with extra teeth. Apparently no one thought, hey, maybe let's not build a dino zoo on an active volcano, but sure, now it's a crisis. And people are debating, save the dinosaurs, or let nature correct humanity's biggest oops. Enter Claire Deering, now rebranded as a dinosaur rights activist, because I guess working for a murder zoo wasn't fulfilling enough. She's trying to save the animals that almost killed her last time. Growth? Maybe. Insanity? Definitely. We meet Franklin, the scared IT guy whose job is to scream and touch buttons, and Zia, the paleo veterinarian who's never seen a dinosaur before. Basically, the team is a BuzzFeed quiz come to life. Which type of underqualified millennial are you in a crisis? Claire gets a call from Benjamin Lockwood, a character retconned into the franchise like, hey, remember John Hammond's old partner? No? That's fine. Neither do we. He wants to move the dinos to a safe island. Because what better way to fix a failed island full of monsters than with a second island full of monsters? Claire's like, cool, but we need someone to find Blue. Cue Chris Pratt entrance music. Owen Grady. He's building a cabin in the woods because that's how every man in crisis thinks you fix your problems. Build a log and forget trauma. Claire shows up like, hi, want to come back to the murder island? And Owen's like, hard pass. But then she mentions Blue, his beloved pet raptor / dino daughter / plot device. So he says yes because nothing says emotionally stable like flying toward a lava-covered dino prison with no plan. Cut to Isla Nublar. It's beautiful, sunny, and 3 seconds from a fiery death. We meet Ken Wheatley, a mercenary who looks like he eats bullets for breakfast and collects dinosaur teeth like Pokemon. You just know this guy's gonna die stupid. The team splits up. Zia and Owen look for Blue, while Claire and Franklin reboot the dino tracking system. Owen finds Blue and tries the whole, hey girl, remember me, routine. But before their reunion can end in hugs or homicide, Wheatley's men show up and tranquilize Blue. Owen gets shot with a tranq dart and collapses. It's okay though, he escapes by rolling away from lava. Not running, rolling, like a roasted chicken with abs. Meanwhile, Claire and Franklin are trapped in a gyrosphere being slowly filled with lava and water. Because the only thing scarier than being crushed by lava is drowning while being crushed by lava. Don't worry though, Owen shows up somehow completely dry and unbothered and saves them by shooting the glass. It's Jurassic logic. Bullets fix everything. The mercs load the dinos onto a ship and Claire's crew sneaks aboard. They're stowaways now, pirates of the Cretaceous. They watch Blue being operated on, and Zia suddenly goes full ER mode even though she's never touched a real dinosaur in her life. She just shouts, he needs blood! Like it's Grey's Anatomy, Reptile Edition. What dino do they get the blood from? T-Rex. So let's recap. They sneak into a murder dino cage, draw blood from the throat of a sleeping T-Rex, and somehow don't die. This is how you know this movie was written during a Red Bull binge. The ship docks at Lockwood Manor back on the mainland, which is basically an evil lair disguised as an old mansion. Think Downton Abbey meets Saw. There we meet Eli Mills, Lockwood's assistant and walking corporate evil cliché. He's planning to auction off the dinosaurs like they're Prada handbags for rich warlords and technobros. Plot twist, he's also breeding a new monster, the Indoraptor, because clearly the last monster hybrid killed too few people. This one is part raptor, part Indominus, part tax fraud. Meanwhile, Lockwood's granddaughter Maisie is poking around the mansion, being suspiciously precocious. She finds out Eli's plan and goes to tell Grandpa, but oops, Eli murders Lockwood off-screen. That's right, the founder of the park gets pillow murdered by the guy who looks like he'd call the cops on kids selling lemonade. Maisie gets chased around the house like she's in a Scooby-Doo episode but with more teeth. She hides in dumbwaiters, runs across rooftops, and ends up finding Owen and Claire, who've been imprisoned in a dino basement because, well, evil plan reasons. Owen breaks out by having a Stygimoloch headbutt the wall. I wish I was making that up. Yes, that's right. His entire escape plan is, let me bait this angry medieval goat lizard into smashing our problems away. Now we get to the dinosaur auction, a scene that feels like eBay for evil billionaires. People are bidding millions on murder lizards. There's a guy from Russia, a guy from Saudi Arabia, and probably Jeff Bezos in disguise. The Indoraptor gets brought out even though it's not for sale, but rich people start bidding anyway because FX left this movie a long time ago, amazed by the creature's ability to lock onto a specific target. Courtesy of a laser and an acoustic signal on a gun, the attendees begin to bid on the Indoraptor despite Eversol stating he is not for sale. Eversol is then coaxed by Mills to accept bids, much to Wu's disdain as the prototype Indoraptor lacks Blue's genome, and thus can neither empathize nor follow more specific orders. As well as if it is sold, the data in its DNA could be remade by another party. Owen disrupts the auction's proceedings with the aid of the Stygimoloch and wreaks havoc among the spectators. Mills flees and orders his men to get the Indoraptor out of Lockwood Manor. Owen bests several mercenaries in hand-to-hand combat, then reverses a switch which prevents the Indoraptor's cage from exiting the auction room. Immediately after everyone flees the auction, Wheatley enters the deserted auction room and notices the Indoraptor. Having never seen the creature before and wanting one of its teeth for his necklace, Wheatley shoots the Indoraptor with 2 tranquilizer darts and enters the cage after the Indoraptor appears to be sedated. In reality, the Indoraptor is unaffected by the tranquilizer darts. He smiles and distracts Wheatley by waving his tail in the air before severing Wheatley's right arm and devouring him. Suddenly, the dino breaks loose and starts hunting people for fun. Owen reunites with Claire and Maisie and the 3 encounter Mills. Mills reveals to Owen, Claire and Maisie that she is actually a clone of Lockwood's beloved daughter who had perished in a car accident. Meanwhile, Franklin, now disguised as a laboratory assistant, manages to find Zia. Wu has begun evacuating the lab to secure all the genome data and still needs Blue's blood. He orders Zia to get Blue's blood for him, to which Zia reveals to Wu that she had given Blue a transfusion of T-Rex blood. Franklin then injects 20 cc's of carfentanil into Wu's neck. The two try to flee but are cornered by 2 mercenaries. This leads Zia to unleash Blue, who acknowledges the 2 for saving her before attacking the mercenaries. Owen, Claire, and Maisie are hiding behind a diorama of a velociraptor and Dilophosaurus engaged in battle near a glass wall. The Indoraptor breaks the wall and pursues the group once again. The Indoraptor chases Maisie up another staircase and down a hallway until Maisie escapes up to her bedroom. Zia and Franklin discover a hydrogen cyanide leak near the laboratory, which will kill all of the dinosaurs if it spreads to the encaging area. The Indoraptor hunts Maisie through her bedroom, a gothic child's room with a bed that looks like it costs more than your car. And right when it's about to eat her, Owen shows up with Blue, and we get the final boss fight, Raptor versus Indoraptor. They fight across rooftops, staircases, skeletons, and eventually, Blue does a sick WWE move and throws Indoraptor onto a spiky skull display. But wait, one last ethical dilemma. The dinos are trapped in the basement and there's a gas leak. Claire's about to hit the button to release them, but she stops. She finally realizes maybe releasing giant killers into the suburbs is bad. Then Maisie hits the button anyway. Why? Maisie's logic. They're alive like me. Girl, that's not how biology or trauma works. Now the dinosaurs are loose in America. What could possibly go wrong? Final scene. Dinosaurs roaming highways, surfing waves, landing in Vegas. Dr. Ian Malcolm shows up again, mutters, "Welcome to Jurassic World," like he's auditioning for a gritty Shakespeare reboot, and boom, credits roll. Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom. Proof that the real extinction event is the franchise's logic.